Alright, simps of the universe. It turns out she actually had more time. This is literally after the fucking second part of the second part of what Deku was the windigo. It literally takes place like fucking 10 minutes after that, because for some reason my tablet glitched. And it just fucking went wild. So I had to turn the shit off, and I didn't turn it off. I just sat there and watched the screen bug out for like 5 minutes so my video could finish uploading. So, yeah. That video was like 22 minutes. Let's start off from where we left off. Come on, simps of the multiverse. Let's gang up and start simping on some hoes. Oh my god, I'm gonna demonetize. Oh my fucking god, I'm a dumbass. Let's start off. And Deku just fucking vanishes after breaking the car into fucking bits. All the boys see his fucking red eyes, and he just fucking spoons. And by the way, this is good. I'm just gonna rewind the time. He's gonna be back like fucking 2 years after like Quirker discovered, because I realized I still want Deku to be whoever the hell her name was, son. Because I have plans for Deku to do with a few people, and I need him to be her son in order for it to play out the way I want it to. Because you know how I want it to go. No, you don't. But you know what? You'll find out. He just fucking blitzes out back in the forest and disappear in the nights in the nights and fucking vanishes. It just fucking blitzes off in the night. You know, like the night begins to shine. No, fuck you. The night begins to darken, and he just blitzes off for the next, I don't know, few years. He makes his way to fucking wherever the hell this shit is gonna take place, and it's gonna be the battle between All For One and Nashimura and in Gran Torino, whatever his name is, and All Might or Toshinori, whatever the hell you wanna call him. And I'm gonna turn on according to Jim for a little bit because he's the Green Man. I'm so sorry. I want to see it because right now he's drunk. He's fucking drunk and he's acting like a dumbass. I gotta see it. I don't know any of that. I just wanted to see it so badly.
Hi, I just need to go and talk to my husband for 1 second. I promise I'll be right out.
Sorry, lady, we're at capacity now. Yell at him when he gets home.
Oh, okay. Could I just run in?
Alright, I'm done. And he just blitzes off to where there's some more, and you know, that night, I'm gonna have Deku just gut a few All For Ones, fucking henchmen or whatever the fuck you would call it. It just starts off before they get to that weird fucking island place. He just ripping into some bad guys. He's just fucking ripping them dudes apart, and it's gonna look like this. The photo you have here. He's walking through there, except there's no snow, no trees. There's just an alleyway on fire with him. By now, Deku has a full understanding of what's going on in the world and why most people he cuts can do all this weird shit. And he basically got everything caught up. He knows about he doesn't know about One For All, but he knows who All For One, where the hell All For One's real name is. And he's like, he's heard that he can bestow these things upon him, and he does not like it because he's making him harder to kill people. And basically this battle I'm leaping into now, it's basically before Deku was born and when his soon-to-be mom was young. Basically, it's gonna be back when Nashimura was still alive and Toshinori was still young, and All Might still had a okay looking face. All For One had a still okay looking face before his face got turned into a giant deformed nugget. But yeah. And according to Jim is on it, she's about. Okay, I'm sorry. Alright. That's all I want to see. He's getting arrested now, Peter. Alright. He just makes him look like this with a badass. And I'll just make him more badass. I want his eyes to be fucking glowing its ass off. I'm trying to find a picture with his eyes glowing his ass off. And that's where I draw the fucking line. Fuck. I hope you want to deny me my internet access, so fuck you. I can still upload videos, you fucking cunt. Dude, give me like 8 years or some shit. Anyway. He's gonna get cut back on soon, because reasons. Anyway, I hope this video still recorded and turned on, because if it is, I'm gonna be pissed. Turn the TV back on. Okay, my bad. Alright. Here's just fucking. I'm going back to the other picture. Where's the other picture at? Should be down. No. Where's the other fucking picture at? Ah, shit. Nope. This is what happens when you lose sight of what everything means to you and you become a little shit. Because you little shits get little shitty deservers. And my back is fucking killing me. Anyway, I'm gonna still continue on while this thing is still loading up. Yeah, he's basically just walking down the alleyway with someone's dead corpse in his hand. And he takes a fucking clean chomp out of the dude's head. Now, not taking a chomp out of it, just biting it off. And you just think of a watermelon hitting the ground. Like that. And he just tosses the body against the wall. And he lets out a screech like, "Ree, ree." He just lets out a loud, "Ree," or like, "Ree." And he fucking charges as they're just fucking using their quirks on him. As soon as the quirks start to get, like, aim toward him, like, really good, they start to deactivate. And he just fucking rips them asses apart. By now, Deku has learned speech and shit, so he's saying some demonic shit. I'm not some demonic shit, because every time I see demonic shit, I feel a shiver up my back, so I'm gonna shut up. He's just saying some real scary shit out of his mouth, like, death, and a bunch of other crap, and just gutting them apart. And basically, he just gutting them apart, and you probably just heard what I just did, so no point hiding it if I get fucking voted off as the worst person to ever exist in history of YouTube. Like he voted off as worst person in history of YouTube. Anyway. He's doing this thing, ripping some people's head off his Jesus shit. Jesus. I don't like that noise I'm hearing. I gotta find that badass photo again. I don't know how I found it the first time. I was just scrolling down I was just scrolling down. I just saw it. So like, anyway, he's doing good enough. Good fucking enough. Except he looks like a female, and that's not what I'm going for here. I'm going for a weird, creepy ass dude walking down the alleyway. And he just basically gets the answer he wants. Not in the wants, he just fucking... Yeah, he just gets the answer he wants, but just fucking pinning the guy against the wall. Digging his claw into his gut and saying, "Where is all for one?" And he just basically... He doesn't give it up. But Deku... The dude just like, "What?" And he says, "Where is all for one?" And as he just sticks another claw, just sticks it in there. Not like that, bro. I mean, he just stabs it with it. And he says, "Fighting 3 heroes. Where?" And he just basically gives up location. Just fast forward about 15 minutes when the battle was just taking more place. And as All For One is about to do his little bomb shit, and Nana's about to get him out of there, and get Toshinoi and tell Gran Trini, whatever his fucking name is, and get him out of there, they all hear this noise again, and before anyone can comprehend, they just see this picture right here. No. A body is thrown over All For One and lands right in between All For One and the heroes. And All For One turns around and sees this shit. But instead, he's more... I don't want to be more intimidating, so he's got to be muscular. He's like, I think of Chris Evans in Captain America. He just looked just like that. He's more taller, more buffer. And the antlers just look like fucking antlers, not like whatever the hell, like fucking weird crunchy potato skins. Delicious, but you know what? He's walking down there, and his red eyes just fucking with everybody. And before anything can happen, he shifts his body the best way he can, to speed up to All For One, so he can rip his head off. And you know what? This photo right here just gave me some fucking inspiration for some new shit. And as he's going to fucking gut All For One, he fucking speeds up, and all of a fucking sudden, a bone, like a fucking thing made of fucking, a scythe made of fucking bone. He just runs up to All For One at fucking speeds that you cannot comprehend, and fucking slices at his ass. And the hero just sees this big fucking buff thing with red eyes, is clawing in the goddamn All For One. And chipping his nails, fucking cutting up his hands. He doesn't get any major bruises on him because All For One's using his quirks. He's got it going away. But when he goes to aim at Izuku and use the quirks on him, they don't happen. And he just fucking throws his bone side into All For One's spleen, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It fucking goes up there. And by now he's observed what the hero's goals are, and they go to Deku's perseverance of what he sees. Even though he's never going to come close to what they are. Yeah, he's never going to come close to what they are. And as he's fucking battling him, he looks over at the heroes and says, "Run." Basically. He looks over, he gets him down, he rips a scythe out of him, and he turns over at the heroes, and with a screech, he tells them to run. As he spins, the scythe forms like a handle on it. He spins it around and starts going to fucking town. And since he doesn't have like the type of abilities that everyone in the quirk world has, he just uses his own natural things he's gotten, for being around for fucking long time. Uses his skill that's been used on him. Fucking chomping at him. And the heroes aren't going to leave because they want to finish the battle. But then, Nana Samoa is going to be alive in this one though, but no. And Nana is going to be like intrigued because remember, like I said in like the first video, Grammy Shimura, you remember what I said? You remember what I said? And she's like, the picture looks so similar. Before they can say anything, Deku says, he's a bomb in a sinister voice, but he's not really meaning to sound sinister. He just got bloodlust in him right now. He says, he's a bomb. Run! And he fucking turns around, stabs it All For One, hitting one of his lungs, slicing it, and going through him, breaking some of his ribs, going through the ground. And they take the notice of that. Gran Torino, Toshinori, and fucking Nana, they fucking bolts out of there like goddamn fucking Captain America hitting the water in the Winter Soldier. Fucking blitz off. Doing the same thing. Nana is still intrigued by the fact that the same thing she thinks her grandma was just crazy about is just fucking cutting into their arch enemy. And as All For One is then fucking nearly beaten, he's pinned against the thing and says, "You won't beat me, because like you said, I'm a bomb." And Deku says, Izuku says, "I'm gonna steal some shit from Predator, bro." The scythe forms away. I don't mean to commit plagiarism. Just don't get on my back about what the shit I say. He says, he forms a little blade, like fucking Scorpion. He gets thing big, and then he says, "Shit happens." He shoves it through him. It goes through him. It's pinning him to the thing. He turns around and he morphs. He morphs again. He morphs fucking again. He morphs again. This is probably not the picture of people thought that Deku with Windigo would be, but you know what? Fuck you. You can kiss my ass. It's my what if. It's what if. It's my what if. It's my what if. You don't like it? You can kiss my ass, cause yeah, it's my what if. You can kiss my ass. You don't like it? Look at someone else. What if when Deku was fucking killing people? I do. That's not what I'm saying. That I don't like violence that much. But when I'm describing people getting ripped apart, it's way more easier for me to take in than actually seeing the shit up close. But you know what? And Deku just turns into this form. Izuku turns into this form. He just fucking jumps off the island, jumps into wherever the hell he's gotta go. And as the bomb goes off, as he just explodes, it goes off. Fast forward years where I want to change some shit though. You know, Inko. Is that her name again? Inko? I don't know. I didn't get a chance to really look up any of this shit. Inko Inko is like pregnant with, would be Izuku, but Izuku, because I'm a little shit like that I am, is gonna get killed before anything else happens. Because it's about where he's about to be born and shit, and this shit happens. They get into a car crash on the highway going to the doctor because her water broke, and Deku was there. He's like, free food, about to eat my ass off. Izuku's there. As the both people in the car go unconscious, and she already gave birth, but the baby was killed because she gave birth mid fucking air, and the baby fucking banged its head against the ground. Sad day, but you know what? It's about to give a place because Deku does the best he can to eat them. He doesn't eat the baby because he examines all of them, and he just looks at them all like. He's about to chomp down on him. He sees a picture in one of the books. He doesn't hear something on the radio. All Might. I'm about to say it in Japanese accent. All Might though. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say All Might though. All Might. All Might. All Might. He hears on the thing, and he's like, because over the years he's been observing All Might, and he's like. He's basically Zuko in canon. You know what? You don't like this what if that Deku is a bit wuss. You know what? Don't get the fuck out of here. This is my what if. My what if. Get the fuck out of here. And he just basically looks at the kid that's fucking dead and takes his claw and cuts the umbilical cord, takes the baby, goes over there to a bush. Behind the bush, he dags out his claws, digs a tiny little hole, puts the baby in there, buries the baby. Fucking dark day in America, man. But he buries it. He goes over. And he takes the umbilical cord. And he turns into a little baby. He's a little toddler. And he attaches the umbilical cord to himself. You know what? Because, fuck it. He's making him be able to manipulate his own body. He attaches the umbilical cord to himself. But he's not attached to him. Because Deku doesn't have a belly button or any of those human features. He's going to get them from observing. He's going to... what I'm saying is not real realistic. I'm just going to start over. With the car, they're still attacking the car, but Deku ripped open the car. And fast forward, fast forward, and it turns into the push part. Where he just turns into attaches the umbilical cord to him in his Wendigo form. Because he can manipulate his body and shit. He turns into a little baby, and before they're just about to wake up, he makes sure to not fuck anything up. So he basically manipulates his body to get rid of his muscles, and it formed what would have been a belly button on little baby Zuko that's currently at peace. You're at peace, little kid. And he forms their features by looking at both of them. And he basically just fucking sits there on the ground and just waits. he waits. And he waits. Sorry, my bad. And as they get up, the fast forward ambulance, blah, 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 cut umbilical cord, the little piece of flesh that's on Deku. It's basically a bond. He's bonded to these guys now. Not like contract bond, but he's sticking with these guys because, he's going to track him down. If he loses him because, he's a fucking windigo. But fast forward, hospital, they get a checkup. Baby seems fine. No fractures or anything. Baby seems fine. They examine, he seems fine. He seems like a normal baby. He looks around a lot. And one thing about it, Deku, he's going to have all the rising features. This fucking what if is not going the way I want it to go. This is fast forward, and that in the car, rewind is that in the car, the baby was killed on the crash impact, and the baby did not come out. Because this is not going the way realistic shit goes. And so what he does is basically extracts the baby, because why not? And just fast forward as he just, I don't want to describe it, but he attaches his umbilical cord to himself and shapeshifts to little baby Zuko and fucking climbs back in there. Because why fucking not? And as he's observing from the inside, I don't like saying that though, because I don't like saying what I'm saying throughout this entire video, but it's happening, because shit happens. Shit happens. And as they get out of the crash, he seems normal, the baby seems fine. But Izuku is not normal in there, because he doesn't turn into little baby Izuku, because he's basically a little tiny little Wendigo. And before anything else can happen, he's changing his form to look like little baby Izuku. Basically, just fast forward a couple years after Zuko's born, blah, 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 blah. He's born into the world. He knows literally fucking everything. He's still the same murderous being, except he holds back his murderous habits. And he chows down a lot of meat sometimes. He eats vegetables occasionally. Doesn't like them because, he eats vegetables. I didn't eat vegetables until I was like fucking 8 or whatever. And, basically everything goes as is canon because you probably logged off this video a long time ago because you're like, man, I don't give a fuck. This dude ain't even accurate at all. I want Deku to be a villain. You know what? Deku's gonna be a hero. He's gonna be a psychopath, murderous villain. And I respect that, but villain Deku will come in the future. Oh crap! Spoilers. You know what? I'm not gonna try to hide it. Villain Deku is coming in the future. Along with a few other things, like what if Deku had the Infinity Stones and a bunch of other shit. That's coming in the future, but not now. Let's get back to this. When I do villain Deku, he's gonna be Joker with a few other non-family friendly villains combined, because he's gonna be a fucking madman. He's still gonna be quirkless in that one. Yeah. I'm not giving him one for all in this video, because quirks are suppressed against him, so he makes him the strongest motherfucker out there. So quirks, it wouldn't matter. He already punched hard. Besides, if All Might goes to attack Deku, he's gonna get kicked out of his muscle form, because his muscle form is a reaction to him being injured and him kicked back to his weird little skinny form. And using All For One turns him back into what he would have looked like. I am pretty sure that's what it's about. So if All Might went to go attack him, Deku would have All Might would have been kicked out of his muscle form and back to his skinny form, which is the scary part that's gonna come up in the future. It's gonna skip behind. And as Deku is growing up beside Bakugo, because they're friends, he's basically friends. Izuku doesn't see him as a friend. He sees him as a piece of snack that he needs. Over time, he starts to see him as a friend, or what a so-called friend is. His father disappears before Izuku's after type of thing. Izuku doesn't really care that much. He doesn't give a shit. And like in canon, he idolizes All Might like fucking crazy. And as a child, he has never gotten sick. He's never gotten hurt, really. And he's fucking peak. As a toddler, he's trying to limit how much he's going to do, but there's occasional times he's lifted the couch without his mom noticing. Or with his adopted mom. He's he saw her as a snack throughout the coming few years, but after a while he warmed up to her. He calls her mom. He calls her Inko. He calls her mom Inko. Back in that shit. He is telling himself that he's gonna eat this kid's parents once eats this kid's dad once he sees him again. But you know what? That's one of his top priorities, to eat him. And Deku, pretty sure All For One died because he doesn't really like quirks. He despises his mom's quirk, but he's okay with him because he's after idolizing All Might in observing what his All Might's quirk apparently seems to be. He's warmed up to quirks. He doesn't like most quirks though, like villainous quirks. Villainous quirks he's okay with because he's basically a murderous psychopath. He's been around for a while, but when people use their quirks, people have villainous quirks. Yeah, he doesn't mind, but when people use their quirks for bad, because he just fucking turns into a murderer, trying to want to eat people. Let's skip toward Deku is getting his X-ray, and he's saying he wants to be a hero, but when he said he can't be a fucking hero, Deku isn't fazed by this. He just says, "Watch me, old man." He says, "Watch me, old man. I will be the first." He says, "Watch me, old man. I will be the first quirkless hero. Just you watch it. Then once I'm ruling on top of the #1 spot, I'm gonna look down on pity on you as you just look down here as a shitty little doctor." And he says those words out loud as Inko looks at him as she's like, "What has gotten into him?" And the doctor's like unfazed. The little kid says, "Anyway, you're just a pipsqueak." And he just fucking goes to leave out of there. The Inko gets up and tells him what is wrong with him. And he says, "Mother, he's trying to deny me my dream. An insult is good enough from what he's going to get from me, and not what I was ready to give him." Which is basically a claw through a gut. And she's taking this as like, what in the hell? And the doctor's like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? It's like, it's starting to think he might have multiple personalities. Like, one side's nice and it's been active for the years, and then this one little incident is like fucking triggering it. But he just brushes that aside as they're leaving after their quirk doctor. And in the car, she's like talking to him where all this behavior comes from. And he just explains why he basically acted like that. Because his dream, shit, And basically goes to canon back who finds out he doesn't find out, but he tells him he doesn't have quirk. But he says, it doesn't matter anyway. Once, I don't need to have a quirk that could reach the #1 spot. And Bakugo's like, no, you're not, you're the little loser. You don't even have a quirk. We can all kick your ass. We're all better than you. And basically, I'm not going to start doing a cussing thing for Bakugo until he gets older. Then Deku just looks at him like, and he sees him as a friend, so he's not going to do anything to him. After a while, Deku starts to become more and more human. Not more and more human, but act more and more human. Basically leads up he gets bullied on the thing, but he doesn't do anything about it because he doesn't want to, because Bakugo is his friend. And it skips up to where in canon, where they're doing all the hero shit and stuff. Let's skip to the Sludge villain thing. And when the Sludge villain thing happens, Deku in his super hyper enhanced senses, he's like, as the Sludge villain pops up, Deku wastes no time. He's like, as soon as the Sludge villain says, "Hey kid, I want your body," Deku wastes no time. He fucking pulls out his claws, goes into his windigo form, not into his windigo form, but partially enters some of his power in his windigo form. His eyes turn red, his claws start to come up. You know what? I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do just no picture here. I'm just gonna search up villain Deku. There we go. Shit. Probably a bad time for you guys anyway. Villain Deku. Oh, there it is right there. Vintage people. Vintage people. I need one where he's holding his face. Damn, some of this art is fucking made. What the fuck? Ugh. Some of this fan art makes me think that some people might have a little issues, but you know what? Right here, this like this one right here. Not what I was looking for, but it's okay. More of like a sidestep. Anyway, as his eyes turn fucking red and his fucking claws start to come out, and he starts to grow his teeth back. And as he doesn't go in his full windigo mode, but like little horn, little tiny antlers had to pop up from where up from the top of his head, or not top of his from where his top of his forehead. And as Deku has learned how to, Deku is literally sprinting, fucking clawing at the dude, and this is not doing anything. He says, "Fucking." And as in the middle of the counter, the Sludge is starting to charge at him, but since he's trying to attack Deku, his quirk is fucking deactivated, and he's turned back into his human form. And he's confused as Deku fucking starts his claws. He's fucking cutting this dude. And he fucking slices him in the face, leaving him a mark. And he's fucking biting the shit out of him, throwing him everywhere, crushing him against the fucking thing. And that's when this All Might comes up. No fear, whatever the fuck he said. I haven't seen that episode like over a month. But and he just looks as some kid is picking up some guy, and he's throwing him against the wall, beating the shit out of him, clawing at him eventually. But he throws away his claws. He's seen after a while being abused by Bakugo that punching is the best way. The punching is to show all the blood. You're fucking kicking his ass. And he's licking the blood that gets hit on his face. But All Might doesn't see this. And he steps in. And Deku throws the Sludge in All Might's direction. But he doesn't know the Sludge. All Might catches him. And he says, "Sir, are you alright?" Then he's not even. He's fucking losing consciousness. And then as the effects of someone attacking Deku is wearing off, and his fangs in his claws and his eyes are going back to normal, he looks at All Might and he starts about to geek out. And then he says, "Kid," and he says, "Oh, you might." And then as he starts to convert back into the Sludge villain, and he sees it's the Sludge villain. No. Yeah, it's a Sludge villain. He's like, oh. He's like, he just fucking fanboys out, and he tells him it was in self-defense because the Sludge villain said he was going to use him as a hostage. And just All Might just does what he does in canon. And basically this time when he latches, but he doesn't latch onto him. He does do what he did in canon. But this time, he does what he did in canon, except he does what he does in canon, except when he's talking to All Might and All Might about to leave, he says, "Can I be a hero if everyone keeps saying I'm quirkless?" No. If everyone around me keeps bullying me because they all think I'm quirkless. No. Because they say I'm quirkless. Then All Might says the way you handled the Sludge villain was very brutal, but you had self-defense, and if you can do that type of damage to a villain and kick him out of stop his quirk from activating, then you have a quirk kid. If you, the man or adult man, throw him around and beat him, and he couldn't fight back, you have a quirk kid. And Deku's like being really unfazed by or don't even give a shit because he knows that he doesn't need a quirk in what he is. He knows he's a windigo. He knows all this shit. And he's like, at least someone believes that can be a hero. No. Yeah, at least someone believes that can be a hero. And it's All Might leaps off. Basically what happens in canon, except, All Might goes downstairs and then Deku leaves with excitement, but he hears an explosion. And when he does in canon to go investigate and shit, he does that shit. He does that shit. He does that shit. He does that shit. He does that fucking shit. He does that shit. He does that shit. He does it. And he does that shit. And he knows. And All Might is is getting there, doing everything happens in canon except when Deku throws his backpack. The Sludge throws his backpack. He goes fucking through the Sludge villain. And before the Sludge villain can react, Deku is on his ass. No. I want the Sludge to be a bit panicked because he's very, very wounded and trying to get inside the kid and use him more of a host. He doesn't notice who stole his backpack. Only thing he does know is someone started jumping and wailing on his ass for no shit. He's fucking beating his ass. He doesn't want to show too much because he's still a bit panicked about showing too much of his true self. So he just does what he does in canon. Bakugo sees him, but Deku just lets loose love on his screen. So when he does punch the Sludge villain, he just have go back a little bit. And basically that happens in canon. All Might shows up and the hero started to scold him because what he did was dangerous and shit. And basically fast forwarding and just fucking fast forwarding to the goddamn thing. Whatever it is, the alley thing. And this time when everything happens in thing, but when All Might offers to give him his quirk, Deku refuses. Because he says he doesn't want it. Deku knows why, because he knows what he is and he doesn't think power. Once he finds out what All Might's real quirk is, he says, no. Because Deku, he already knows what he is, and knowing that something passed down from generation to generation for people who were worthy enough and good enough people to come something like that. He doesn't want anything like that separate honor to be passed down to some monster. And he refuses, and All Might, nothing serious happens because nothing serious about a real conversation happens. So basically, what happens is Bakugo gets one for all, and since. And then they just split apart and everything as they go about separate ways. And Deku, he doesn't have to train because he's just hiding his real muscle. All he has to do is just revert back to his muscular side. He's got muscles. He doesn't train off. He just studies. He just walks away. All Might walks away. Bakugo gets his quirk. Bakugo trains for shit. And the entire time. Since Deku is changing a bit more, because that little piece of Inko, of the little bit of flesh from Inko, when they cut the middle quarter off, they detached himself. It basically had a negative effect on him, making him have a lot more human similarities than what he normally would have. Basically, he starts to get his hormones, and he starts to mature, and he starts to look at Mitsuki a bit fondly. You know what I was getting at. That's why I wanted him to be fucking Izuku's, Iko's fucking son. Otherwise, if it was my case for trying to pair them up together, I wouldn't have fucking added fucking made him her fucking son. I would have went on and had him I would have had them carry on in a bunch of shit. But because I wanted him to be fucking dating her. He starts to do one thing during these 10 months. Why Bakugo was getting trained by All Might to use his quirk and shit, one for all. Deku converts to a human adult form, stealing the clothes off of. Not stealing the clothes, but basically. And in this one, I'm gonna have fucking her divorce her husband, because he got attracted to someone else, because anything to get Deku. You know what? I'm gonna shut up. Alright, and basically he made this happen by hypnotizing the father, by basically, not hypnotizing the girl that seduced him, by hypnotizing her. And he takes his chance, he takes some of he fucking breaks into his clothes store, steals some shit. Not steals some shit, but he just uses his fucking, I'm gonna make Deku a bit more OP. I'm gonna allow him to be able to create shit. That's how he got his bone staff and shit. So he basically makes himself some clothes, and walks up to Mitsuki, and he fucking goes to his adult form. As he's around in the store, he observes her a bit more. I don't know, she's going to do grocery shopping and shit. And instantly he makes his move. He goes and introduces himself, and she introduces himself. I mean, he gives himself a fake name. I can't think of no goddamn fucking Japanese name, bro. I'm gonna use the name that I basically always use. John. That's my literally a fucking. It's a fucking Among Us name. I make a video with Among Us if this video gets fucking 30 likes, like the first video did. But basically, yeah, I do a Among Us video. I will do it. I do a Call of Duty video as well. No, screw it. And basically, everything fucking goes the way I want it to go. Because, I want him to fucking be dating Mitsuki. Fucking move on, and they're dating and everything. And Bakugo just looks at this guy. And he basically changed his face to make him look like an adult Deku. Because I'm not doing that fucking anime shit where he still looks like a child, but he's an adult. Because a lot of people have issues with that because they don't know how to do it right. Anyway. He looks at him, he looks like a bit similar to Deku, but he doesn't catch anything by it. And basically, Bakugo has seen him once, like dropping Mitsuki off, and he walks away. Deku gets all his money because he's been fucking loaded for killing all those people. He just doesn't spend it on anything, but he just spends it on Mitsuki, like getting her gifts and shit. They cut down. They've been dating. No. I'm gonna cut down the time a little short because 10 months is literally enough to fucking really want to get fucking. I'm gonna cut it down a little because Deku doesn't get his hormones so like for 3 months. 3 months before the entrance exam. And basically, yeah. And he's been at Mitsuki's place before, and Bakugo doesn't really like him now. Like he thinks that she's just trying to get rid of him or something, like moving on too fast. And he basically just fucking. It's time for the entrance exam. As he's walking up to UA. No, it's He's walking up to UA. Like the Deku isn't like he is in canon. He knows he's gonna do well. He fucking knows he's gonna kick some ass. He doesn't. After a while, he realized that he isn't gonna be the number one hero because All Might ranks that place. Instead of being a dumbass like most people are, he's not gonna try to challenge All Might like that. He's not gonna. He doesn't want to be number one because he's gonna leave that spot for the next one for all user, which he doesn't know who that is yet because he didn't bother to talk to All Might or anything after that. He doesn't know who it is, but he said in his head, whoever gets one for all is gonna be the next number one hero. And so he says he's gonna set his eyes to be the number 2 hero because that's the place he's gonna get. He knows he can easily beat anyone in this world because their quirks will get nullified. But he just wants to leave whoever's going to become number one, be number one. He doesn't want to thrive that much because after a while, watching all these people compete and kill and lose themselves in power and darkness just to be number one. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want someone who wants to be number one be completely shrouded in darkness while he's reigning above and supreme. And basically, he just fucking goes in there. He doesn't trip. He doesn't have an encounter with Uraraka. Bakugo doesn't notice him because, Bakugo is more worried about the guy who's coming into his life now. Not in the game. No, don't get in that. But the guy is dating his mom and coming into his life now. He's more thinking about that. And what he actually, Deku he just walks in there as he's doing the test. Bakugo does his thing, fucking insulting him. And Deku does mutter, but this time when he mutters and Edith tries to stand up to him and fucking tell him to shut up, but he's like, he isn't worth my time. He's just some sucker bitch. And he says this out loud with Edith catches on, and then Deku realizes it's too late. I've gone too far. It's too late. I've already done it. Time to fucking finish it. He turns around and say, "Hey bro, you're disturbing the class. We're all focused. We're all trying to focus while you sitting here jotting up and yelling at people. And I just sit your ass down and shut up and pay attention. And look around. Everyone else is looking at me and you instead of focusing on the paper. You shut up." And he turns around and does his shit, and Ida just sits down. like fucking embarrassed. It's like he's trying to get rid of the disturbance, but he ended up becoming a disturbance. And Deku just laughs in his head. And that's done with the physical exam, whatever the fuck it is. And just go to the practice exam, whatever the hell. I don't know anything because I haven't seen the anime in like fucking months. Over 2 months. I haven't seen the anime in over 2 months. I'm like at season 4 of the in the mall and the collapse thing. I've seen second part of that one. I haven't been to the season 1 or any review of it in a while, so I don't remember shit. I remember the main part because I'm not a dumbass. As we get to the thing, and he notices that Uraraka is a bit nervous, and the good in him is fucking gonna say try to do what he did in canon. But when Ida steps in, Deku just wails on him, calling him a bunch of names. It doesn't yell it so everyone else can hear him. He fucking just calls Ida a stuck-up bitch who puts his fucking business in everyone else's faces. But he gets in his face, basically says a bunch of other shit and making Ida back off. And Vegeta fucking hates him now, though. But, Deku, he knows what he can run at fucking speeds. And is fucking nothing to him, bro. I'm going Deku to be overpowered. If he's not gonna have one for all, he's gonna be somewhat powerful. Deku, what if Deku had one for instinct? That's one that's coming up too, cause fucking another YouTuber, man. As they're getting ready to run, as they say go, when Deku does this thing, he cheers up the rock and everything, and when they're getting ready to go, he goes over and he goes over to the front, and as the gates open, he just, and as the timer and as everyone about to run off, he fucking runs, he blitzes his ass off, outrunning Ida. Ida doesn't see anything because he doesn't have any form of thing. He just, all he sees is a blur, and the blur destroys 2 robots and then shoots his way over to the right. No, the left, my bad. He was over to the left. He was just way over to the left, and he just fucking, I didn't turn the TV on, I want to hear this.
I made a hold up at 2 tons, so...
No, I can't do that, interrupt my video. But, he just fucking goes over to the left, fucking running the scrolling robots in his path with his fucking mid-crazy speed. And it cuts over to the fucking, 0 point. As Uraraka is pinned under the thing, and then everyone is just walking away. Deku just running because he knows he needs to destroy the goddamn thing. And Deku has fucking regeneration like his goddamn. Basically, think of fucking the fucking disco. Think of disco. Think of how fucking popular disco and Among Us got. It's fucking fast as that shit. Fucking disco, Among Us, and Minecraft got this fucking fast as that shit. Fucking heals up like. You cut him, heals, cut him, heals, cut him, heals. And he doesn't spew out blood like blood. He does spew out blood because of the human side he's been developing, trying to cover up his shit. As he's walking away, he hears a scream, he does everything he can. Except when he runs up, he runs fucking up. He fucking... And as he fucking jumps... Boom! Boom! Oh, dead shit. Fuck. As he runs up, he reels his fist back and yells. No, he doesn't yell. He's like... He's fucking growling as his eyes turn red as he starts letting out too much into his fucking right arm. And when he punches it, he does worse damage than Deku did in canon. Worse damage. Fucking blew a hole through it, knocking the thing backwards. And the shockwave... No. He does lesser damage than he did in canon. Because he's trying to, like, not do too much damage. Trying to keep everything under control because he wants to be number 1, doesn't be too high. Bing, 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 bing. He punches it, but then he fucking uses his claws on his other hand. He punches it. He doesn't get up close. He has a dent. Then he fucking punches it again, but he leaps onto it, fucking throwing. It took him 6 punches to fucking obliterate its head. And in the finishing, he jumps down and starts punching the shit. Fucking punch. Took some 6 punches. No. I'm not gonna fast forward too much. After 3 punches, the head is fucking obliterated. Not 3 blood. Three. I'm making a bit stronger though. With 3 punches, the head is fucking fucked. Well, fucked up. And as the arm goes by, he reels back his left arm. He punches the thing, blowing the hand off and sending the hand flying. The same with the other one. Except this time, he throws a kick since, You know what? And he kicks the thing, doing the same thing he did with the other hand, sending the thing flying, and as he fucking jumps back, he fucking falls out a little bit, landing on the body, punching the thing, putting more weight on my screen so we can destroy the body. Basically, he fucking destroys this thing, jumps up, destroys the headboard, times added 3 more punches and shit. Fucking did what Deku did in the cannon. And as the thing's blowing up, he turns around and fucking jumps off the thing. And think of like a superhero movie with someone who can fly and super strength and shit like that. Like hits the ground. It's like a he runs over to Uraraka, picks up the rubble off of her, picks her up, and he fucking runs her over there to the end of the thing, puts her down. Basically, as he's running away, he starts to slow down a bit because badasses don't look at explosions. And as they explode, he's like he's still moving extremely fast, but not as fast. And the thing's blowing up, and he just basically has this little moment. Then he basically he gives it a recovery girl. As the fucking exam ends, gives her the recovery girl. She thanks him, he thanks her, and he fucking goes off with his day, goes home. And as the 2 weeks go by, he's been going on off and on dates, going on dates with Mitsuki, you know, because I fucking want to. And Bakugo is getting fucking pissed off about it. He just goes over to the playground, or goes over to Deku's house and asks him if he can come. No. He goes over to he just leaves. He goes off to do some dumb teenage shit. And he's at his house and he's fucking getting pissed off. And as he hears them coming home, and as he's about to drop her off, Bakugo looks out the window and sees this random guy who just showed up in her life somehow. It just needs a nice little a nice little kiss, like a smoother kiss on her fucking lips. And as he goes inside, and he walks away, but he knows that Bakugo's looking at him, and he looks over at him, and Bakugo's like fucking pissed off. And Deku just gives him a nice smirk. You know, a nice smirk. And he just walks, no, I don't want to do that. No. He just looks at him, and he walks away. But actually, when he walks away, he's smirking his ass off. And the 2 weeks go by, and at the end of the this little thing's gonna be at the end of the 2 weeks, as he's accepting the UA for racking up 165 points. No, 158 points. 158 points and 60 rescue points. You know, he got a lower score with the 60 points added onto that, made it 158, whatever the hell that's the number, 168. Jesus. Fucking forgetting the numbers. Jeez. And as he just fucking, the first thing you win. And you know, and as he walks across, he makes eyes with Bakugo and everything, and Ida comes up and says that he does what he did in canon, but Ida still kind of doesn't like him because of the things he said. And Deku flat out doesn't like him at all, and sees him as food. And you know, and everything happens when she comes in and says, "Oh, look at that messy hair all over the place and shit." And basically everything goes in course, but Bakugo just looks at him like, "How did that crookless asshole? Crookless asshole get in here?" As they go over to the fucking thing to do the little quirk assessment thing, whatever the hell. And Bakugo throws his ball using his strongest explosion combined, since it was enhanced by One For All, and using One For All as well to try to get some distance. He fucking throws the thing yelling, "Die!" But a bit louder and more angrier. Because some guy dating his mom, and now the quirkless loser is now fucking UA. He throws the ball, and this time it's gonna go up to 8. No, it'll go to 795. No, it goes to 8. Goes to 805 because of the speed that it burned up. 805. No, a bit too. No, it has to go higher because fucking. Yeah, it's gonna go that way. I'm gonna go 8010 then, but everything goes on, and Deku. I'm not sure how many there were, but I'm gonna start off with just random ones. As is the speed thing. And Ida looks at Deku like, he's gonna blitz it. He's gonna blitz him. And then when the timer starts, Deku fucking bucket makes this dude look like a sham, getting 0.01 second. Fucking that is fucking like that. And as Edith looks on as he just got outran, then Edith thinks the two robots that were destroyed. And like, you know, like Bakugo's looking at him like, what? When the hell did he get a quirk? Basically goes on with the little side step and shit. When he gets to the grip that Deku thinks Bakugo is getting in his way. One day he's gonna try to ruin him and Mitsuki. But not says it, but he thinks it. And that just infuriates him, and he fucking obliterates the goddamn grip test. Whatever, breaking the damn machine. And then he goes on to the ball throw. As Deku trying to throw the ball, he thinks about it again that Bakugo might do something drastic to him, or try to attack him when he's an adult. He's in his adult form. And he doesn't like this because Bakugo has always been bullying him, and if Bakugo tries to ruin his relationship, it's gonna fuck with Deku's mind. And he's reeling back, and he's thinking about this, and a bit more anger goes in, and when he throws the ball, he throws it at about like 15% of his power, and he fucking throws it up to 10,000 meter. No. I'm gonna fuck with this. I'm gonna fuck with him. 18% of it, 15% of his power. Fucking blitzing the thing up to goddamn 1,500 meters, which is 5,000 meters basically, if you don't understand this shit. And he gets the highest in the class, except... No, he doesn't get the highest in the class, because Baraka gets the highest in the class, because she gets infinity, yeah. Then it just fucking skips on to things. Bakugo's fucking infuriating as he goes to charge at Deku. This time we're using his fucking explosion to propel him, because the training All Might, in fact, is that he's been fucking pissing Bakugo off, because in fact, this entire thing. And when he didn't fucking, fucking Shoto does the same thing he did in canon, and blah 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 blah, and move on, and it just moves on. And I'm not sure how long this video is. You know what? I'm gonna end it off. Oh no! I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go with the heroes versus villain. Then I'm gonna stop at the USJ though. Yeah, I'm gonna stop at the USJ thing. Yeah. This is the hero versus villain. It was Uraraka and Deku paired up with everything goes in canon except I'm gonna make Deku and Deku's little match go last because what the fuck not. And as they're going up last is Deku and Uraraka. No. I'm gonna have them go like they did in canon, which was first I think. It's Deku and Uraraka versus fucking Ida and Bakugo. I keep forgetting their names. Whenever I go to go pronounce Ida, I always think of Speedy Quick. And I just gotta fucking rhyme, so it's not Speedy Quick, it's Ida. As they're going in the building, Deku doesn't have that connection like he does with Uraraka. Because like everyone else, he sees her as a snack. And doesn't really want to talk to her that much, except do what he has to do to fucking move up on the ranks. And he's thinking in his head that Bakugo might try to charge in on him. And as he's thinking that, Bakugo is charging in on him. And fucking Uraraka yells, "Get out of the way." Not get out of the way, but she's like fucking shocked. And as Deku finally realizes what's going on, because he's actually in his head thinking about Mitsuki and all this fucking shit that Bakugo might try to do. And she fucking realizes that Bakugo in front of him about to throw an explosion. But since he's trying to attack Deku, his quirk is nullified due to Deku's supernatural mystic things. And the explosion goes out. Nothing happens, and Deku grabs Bakugo's arm. Deku grabs Bakugo's arm and fucking throws him into the wall. And he's wondering why his quirk stopped. And he thinks, did erase his quirk? Then he just gets up, pissed off, has to do the same shit again, jumping at him, trying to use his quirk, but it doesn't happen. Nothing happens. And Deku is basically almost started the final fight. Deku's eyes turn red, and Bakugo sees this and starts the fight. And then everything goes up to this point, and he says, and All Might and everyone else is looking at this. Is why his quirk isn't working. And Bakugo notices his eyes are red, and he must be canceling. I'll make Bakugo a little bit more smarter in this, because why the fuck not? And he's like, no, I'm not gonna make him smart, just make him be confused. But no, I'm not gonna leave him. I'm just gonna leave him at the same IQ. And oh, by the way, Deku got a higher score on the exam to get in the writing exam. No, fuck not. He almost corrected one of Nezu's questions, but he decided not to. It might be too much. And he goes up and fucking punches Bakugo in his mouth, going easy on him because he doesn't want to really hurt him. He's punching him of a normal strength, just punching him, punching. And since his quirk is not working, Bakugo basically defenses. He holds a punch, Deku blocks it, fucking punches him again, punches, blocks it, grabs his hand, pulls it forward, punching him in the mouth. And I was wondering why Bakugo isn't using his quirk. And as Bakugo was getting hit by Deku's fucking punches, not getting hit every game thrown back, he doesn't want to go too much touch. As Bakugo and Deku was just fucking moving out of the way and dying all this shit and fucking punching him in the fucking mouth and shit. And Bakugo getting annoyed. And so he fucking jumps up and does the hardest punch he can, but Deku catches it, pulling his arm over, and fucking punching him in the gut. Punching him in the face. He doesn't really want to do too much damage. Then he gets starting to get a little annoyed because Bakugo keeps getting back up. And he says, is that all you got, you quirkless loser? Because Deku, it doesn't seem real strong to Bakugo. Literally, because Deku was going easy, he doesn't feel much from the punches. That fucking pisses Deku off. And as Deku goes for a punch, Deku catches it, pulling his arm over, and fucking punches Bakugo in the face. But this time, since he's pissed off, he punches him. And when he punches him, he sends Bakugo flying into the wall, knocking him out. And Ubaraka has been gone trying to look at the bomb. Like punching him. And Deku, not literally knowing what the hell is he going to do, he starts sniffing the air, smelling for Ubaraka's scent. As he does that, he fucking speed blitzes a bit faster than he was because he's activating more. Not a bit faster, because he wasn't barely using it, and he wasn't really focused on using it at the exam thing. But since he bit more focused on, he's a bit faster than he was. He fucking running. He just fucking goes up there to where the bomb is. Goes up there, as Ubaraka's having a fight with Ida, Deku walks in there, fucking runs up to Ida, and Ida is still focused on Ubaraka, looks over to see Deku, a foot, punching him in the fucking face, sitting on fucking flying into the ceiling, banging his head, knocking his ass unconscious, as he falls back. So piece of wood crumble, and he goes and touches the bomb, and then heroes win. MVP, Deku. Took out both of them niggas. Touched the bomb as well. And everyone looks at how and his eyes stop glowing because it's not using anymore. It's firing and shit and everything. And everyone goes about how everyone went wrong. And everyone not knowing that what happened with Bakugo's quirk. They say Bakugo never uses quirk. And then everyone think, oh, maybe he thought Deku was too weak. Then everyone's like, look, remember the pad exam when he destroyed the fucking grip test and shit? And it was like, no way he thinks he can take on the day. He could have took him on without any of using his quirk. And everyone thinks that Deku, all those punches he was throwing, he didn't do any damage to Bakugo, not even making him bleed. Not spoiling up anything. Just like punching him and punching him. Then that just one punch where he just sent Bakugo flying into a wall, knocking him unconscious. And how Deku was dodging and pulling his hands back. Was Deku going easy? Hell no, he just fucking not trying to do too much though. And Deku, just one counter, he realizing that Bakugo was not his friend anymore. Ever since Bakugo got his quirk, he's never been his friend. And he just fucking turns around, and he just fucking, and he's doing everything else that they did. And then fucking cut over to the shit, the stuff they're doing. I don't remember much, actually. I don't remember too much, but I think the USJ comes next. Yeah. As they're on the bus, everyone's discussing the quirks. And they go over to Deku, and he's like, "What's your quirk, Deku?" And then Deku just said, he said he doesn't want to talk about it. And they try to question him, but he says he doesn't want to talk about it. He'd rather keep all this to himself and not shared with anyone. He doesn't really want to talk about it. And Bako, intrigued by this, like, why isn't he gonna talk about his quirk? He all of a sudden got one, now he doesn't want to talk about it. He starts to think about how he got all for one. One for one. He thinks maybe something like that. Maybe he got his quirk from someone else. He's like, he will expose it. Everyone's getting in the itch of the film. Deku doesn't have like a foresight thing, but he senses offness because it's this thing. He's a mystical being that's been around for fucking centuries and shit. And he's fucking sensing a lot of shit. He's sensing a lot of fucking wrong shit that's going on right now. And as the villains show up, Deku doesn't really want to give away too much because he's a bit nervous because, it's first time going. It's not his first time going up against them because he's murdered a bunch of them in the past. Fucking hell. He's a bit nervous because he's a bit nervous because he's not sure what to do. He should show off his true self, or should he just relax and stay calm and do what he just say? And as he's thinking in his head about all this, the portal is shit open up, like sending him everywhere. And Zuko is teleported to the water place with Tutsu, what's her name again? Suyu, and Mineta. I fucking forgot about Mineta. I'm not gonna spell Mineta because I don't really like Mineta, but he's fucking funny. He's fucking funny. I'm not gonna get rid of him. I don't really like Mineta because he's a perv and a weird, creepy motherfucker. And along with Kaminari, not Kaminari, but the electrical dude. The Kaminari is Kirishima. Kaminari is electrical dude, and Kirishima's a hardening dude, right? Yeah. Yeah, I forgot the locker room shit. Yeah, Deku doesn't have any muscle now because he doesn't have any muscle, and everyone else is a bit weirded out by the fact. No, not really weirded out, but everyone everyone's like a bit confused because he has no muscle but has all this strength, and Deku has no reason to show off the strength. No. When he's not using his power, the muscles aren't there. Because he pulls out the muscles. Basically like a one for all. When he pulls out the muscle, he only pulls out the muscle to give himself extra oomph. But if he keeps the muscle buried down, because he doesn't need to use it. This is a needle. And as you're in the USJ and everything, as he gets hit in the water, he literally fucking morphs himself, growing tails, gins, and fucking web shit everywhere. And as the villain is coming towards him, Deku grows all up in front of the dude and fucking looks at him with fucking red eyes. And fucking swims toward the villain, throwing a punch. Fucking swimming forward the villain, and his villain about to throw a punch. Deku fucking speed his ass off. Punching him at a speed he couldn't even see. Creating a little bit of a shock when he's trying to hold back, knocking the villain unconscious. The villain is floating up. Tutsu came a bit earlier to see Deku fucking charging at the thing with his tails and punching him in the face. Boom. 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 Knocked the fuck out. Floating up to the surface. And Tutsu gets there and sees Deku with the tail and everything. And as Deku fucking swims up, until he does the same getting on the boat. But Deku fucking jumps out of the water, landing on there with his little tail and shit. And as everyone, Netta and Tutsu look at him like, where did those come from? And then as they start to retract into his body, and it ripped his suit. And his suit's gonna be like there and it did in the canon, except it's gonna have fur and shit on it. And the fur and shit on it, he made a bit more out of leather and shit like that. And as he tried to morph back, his tail and shit disappear, and his eyes stop glowing because he's stopped using his ability. And everyone looks in, and they wonder what his quirk is, because those don't make sense. How can he just do that? But he just starts talking to them, like discussing the plan, because he sees Mineta and Tutsu as snack, especially her. 'Cause she's like a frog thing, and he's like kind of intrigued at how she tastes. But he keeps those thoughts buried down, And he starts saying that he won't come up on land, up in the boat, because they don't know what the quirks are. At least one of them probably doesn't know what your quirks are. And I make Mineta a bit of a detective, because he's being a perv. He's got to know somehow how to know things. No, I'm not gonna do any of that shit. But I would have them both notice and say you and not our. They don't say anything about this though. And he fucking punches them. No. And everything else, but one of them probably did before he got knocked out. And basically, he does what he does in canon, except he doesn't fucking mention it anyway. He just tell him what he's gonna do. He just fucking his fucking pants rip, like his fucking pants rip, and then he starts to grow muscles on his legs. And he says, "Fuck it," because he's gonna create a massive shockwave by manipulating the wind and doing all this dumb shit. So he just fucking, as his exposed chest, he fucking grows muscles. Tsuyu was like a bit like fluttered, or she's like blushing a little bit. She's like growing. Has his costume fully rip off, because the top of his costume really ripped off, because the fin and stuff wasn't really comfortable with this stuff on him. As the other, he's like shirtless. He has no muscle or anything. Then all of a sudden, they just look over and see that he's fucking buff. And then he fucking grabs both of them, fucking jumps up. He just does. They do what they do in canon. And basically, and Zuku's shockwave is a bit more stronger because he has no restraints, and the punch he threw was fucking powerful. And he doesn't create any shockwave. He just manipulates the water. No. Yeah, he just does what he did in canon. Yeah. If the shockwave is gonna, he gonna do what he did in canon because I want him to be OP. I just have him create shockwave isn't really my thing. I'm gonna have him manipulate the air, moving the water. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Shockwave doesn't seem too right to me. And as he's going down to do everything in canon. But when Zawa gets tackled, Deku doesn't have the urge to be a hero or anything. Because he's like, he sees Zawa as a snack. And then he's like, Zawa gonna die. He says it out loud. But then Tutsu just looks over and like, why does he not care? Is he a villain or something? And then she basically says that's what a hero's all about, and saving people. And Deku's like, doesn't care for a second. But then he's like, he always wanted to be a hero, number one, but he's gonna lose number one to the next awful one. He's doing it set in his head, but he says he wants to be number two. Basically, he isn't like who he is in canon anymore after the whole 0 point thing. He isn't like he is because the whole Bakugo thing and the more realizing that people aren't the way they seem to be, he's changed a little bit. But realizing what his old self wanted, he fucking snaps. His eyes turn red, and he grows his claws, and his teeth start forming it. And he fucking gets up and fucking runs towards Nomu. And his muscles have been faded away by now because he stopped doing it. But when he activates the thing, he fucking buffs up. And again, food, to you, whatever her name is flattered a bit, but just throws it off, And he gets up and he fucking rushes over there to the Nomu. And he says, "Get your head off him," and fucking throws a punch. Because the Nomu has shock absorption and a little bit of other crap. The punch doesn't do anything. And he does hit him back a little bit, doesn't do anything. But the Nomu doesn't fight back because it has to be ordered, right? Because if it didn't have to be ordered, it just put to kill a bunch of people and after put his hour down. But is it punching him? What the hell? No. is punching the Nomu. Shigaraki says, kill the kid. And as the Nomu is about to go attack Deku, the shock absorber is nullified. Fucking nullified. And as Deku just moves out of the way. And moving to Shoto before he started fighting the Nomu and all that shit. Moving Shoto after the fight started. As if this quirk was deactivated. Deku moved out of the way, but this time he threw punch the Nomu. This punch did more damage, sending the Nomu back a little bit. And this time he senses that that's a sense thing, but he looks at the Nomu and he's seen human before. And he's seen his transformation quirks and mutating quirks like this. And he says he's seen mystical beasts before, and he's like, it's not human or a monster. And he fucking just fucking says, fuck it. And his muscles on his body start getting bigger. And his fur started growing on him though. So he's like, he muscles get bigger. He fucking charges up and fucking punches the Nomu, fucking doing fucking damage, hitting the thing off him. And since his quirks are nullified, he doesn't have regeneration. As he's taking his damage, he's not fucking regeneration. Fucking punching his at all. His Deku is going. He takes out his claws, fucking skinning the damn thing, biting and fucking tearing the thing off. He doesn't eat on it because he doesn't want to eat. You know, he's so focused on fighting instead of eating. He fucking tears at his spine, messing with it, causing him to lose a bit of his footing. And the Shigaraki's watching, is like, why isn't he regenerating? And by then, Ida has already gone to get help and shit. And Deku fucking aims for the brain and fucking rips the shit out. And not thinking it's over, he rips the brain of the shit, biting the shit, spitting the shit out, fucking ripping this thing open, cutting at its neck, until eventually it's nothing but a fucking thing. And he's fucking ripping and clawing at the thing. Eventually, the people are looking at him like, what the fuck? He's fucking making his Wendigo noises, but as Wendigo, because there's still a bit. He's still human. He's still human. And he's just fucking, ripping the spine off the thing and ripping its arm off. And he's basically getting so savage about it. By the time the Nomu is actually... No, it's been dead a long time ago. By the time All Might actually gets somewhere near the place, the thing has got them skin and bones, and Deku just fucking peeling the thing apart. You know, the All Might is getting ready to leave from the UA, and Deku looks at Shigaraki, and he just smirks. And he fucking runs at him on his hands and the thing like a goddamn animal. And he's running at him. Deku starts to change a bit more. Fur starts to grow on him, and his face starts changing like it's turning into a bone. And Karagimi, whatever his name is, grabs Shigaraki and teleports them out of there for the kid to get any closer. And that's the end. They're gone. And that's when All Might gets in the goddamn place. You know, and when he sees and Deku stopped activating his abilities, but he said, he looked down and said, he just basically, he deactivated the thing, but he said, screw it. He's being a bit intriguing. And he's full back his fucking hands and shit. He's full back his hands and shit, his fur and stuff, and and everything, the shit, fucking shit. And then his claws are deceiving, his eyes have stopped glowing, and his teeth have disappeared and shit. This is the farthest anyone's ever gotten to a fucking what if. I'm just saying, bro. As far as I know, And his feet have stopped reverting back to Wendigo and shit. He's about to let his muscles go back and change back to normal. And then he turns around and he sees all the down villains now. They're all muscular and now everyone else is a bit intimidated by it. And he says, I was already intimidated by full self. Now he says in his head. So when after he reverts back, he leaves the muscles there. He just lowers the size. He lowers the size just a bit so it doesn't seem too buff for him. And everything over, they're all looking at him like, where the hell did he get his muscles from? And they're all kind of frightened because he tore the thing apart like an animal. They don't think it's animal type crap. They don't know any animals that can fucking do that shit. So they think it's like some Tutsu and thing. Tutsu and Nana a bit suspicious because he said he basically when it was all back, I'm gonna change a few things. Back in the boat, what he said was, they probably don't know what your human quirks. Foolish. He said foolish. He probably said the dumb humans don't know what your quirks are. And they're a bit confused by it, you know. I make those two detectives. You know, fuck it. Make those two detectives. One of the people in the thing, they fucking, you know, and everything's over. All Might is kind of confused, kind of not scared but concerned, because if he did that to the Nomu and no one stopped him, he started to think about the Sludge villain, because Sludge villain was in his human form when he was attacked. Deku and him were fighting, and he was probably like, if he had gotten there sooner, he would have turned that Sludge villain into a pile of bones. And he started to think, and Tutsu and Mineta started thinking that he may be some weird villain. Tutsu especially thinks, the Meta doesn't think he's a villain. Mineta and Tutsu both think he's not normal, but then Tutsu is the one that thinks he might be a villain, because he didn't care about Shoto's life. Well, until he kicked his own ass in his mind, he said, if you want to be a hero, you gotta save people. This is fucking move on and shit. And do all this other dumb shit. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of this video, because I got too much time on my hands, and I'm getting really, really, really tired. And no one's probably gonna watch this video, so yeah. I'm gonna leave now, because I'm fucking tired. Don't demonetize me, please. Please, for God's sake, don't fucking demonetize me.